Are you waiting anxiously for your immigrant visa to be processed at the National Visa Center? Well, I have some incredibly exciting news that could change everything for you and thousands of other families waiting to reunite in the United States. The NVC processing timelines have dramatically improved in February 2026, and this could mean your American dream is closer than you think. Stay with me because what I'm about to share could be the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Hello everyone and welcome back to U.S. Immigration Intel. I'm your host, and today we're bringing you some of the most positive immigration news we've seen in quite some time. If you or your loved ones are in the immigrant visa process, this video is absolutely essential viewing. The National Visa Center has announced significant improvements in their processing timelines for February 2026, and this is affecting thousands of cases across multiple visa categories. Here at U.S. Immigration Intel, we're committed to bringing you the latest, most accurate information about U.S. immigration so you can stay informed and plan your future with confidence. So, let's dive right in and explore exactly what these improvements mean, which visa categories are being affected, and what steps you should take right now to ensure your case moves forward smoothly. The National Visa Center, commonly referred to as the NVC, plays a crucial role in the immigrant visa process. After the United States Citizenship and Immigration Services approves a petition, whether it's a family-based petition or an employment-based petition, the case is transferred to the NVC. The NVC is responsible for collecting required documentation, processing fees, and ultimately scheduling visa interviews at U.S. embassies and consulates around the world. For the past several years, applicants have faced frustratingly long wait times at the NVC stage, with some cases taking many months or even over a year to be processed. But February 2026 is bringing a welcome change that's providing hope to thousands of families. According to the latest data released by the Department of State, the NVC has made substantial progress in reducing processing backlogs across multiple visa categories. Let me break down exactly what's happening and which categories are seeing the most improvement. For immediate relative categories, which include spouses of U.S. citizens, unmarried children under 21 of U.S. citizens, and parents of U.S. citizens who are over 21, the processing times have dropped significantly. Cases that were previously taking 8 to 12 months from petition approval to being documentarily qualified are now being processed in approximately 4 to 6 months. This is a reduction of nearly 50% in processing time, which is absolutely remarkable. For family preference categories, we're also seeing encouraging improvements. The F1 category, which covers unmarried sons and daughters of U.S. citizens, has seen processing times decrease from an average of 10 months down to approximately 6 to 7 months. The F2A category for spouses and children of lawful permanent residents has improved from 9 months to about 5 to 6 months. The F2B category for unmarried sons and daughters over 21 of permanent residents has dropped from 11 months to around 7 to 8 months. The F3 category for married sons and daughters of U.S. citizens has seen a reduction from 12 months to approximately 8 to 9 months. And finally, the F4 category for brothers and sisters of U.S. citizens has improved from 14 months down to about 9 to 10 months. While these timelines still require patience, the improvement represents real progress that will reunite families faster. Employment-based categories are experiencing some of the most dramatic improvements. The EB1 category for priority workers, which includes individuals with extraordinary ability, outstanding professors and researchers, and multinational executives, has seen processing times drop from 6 months to just 3 to 4 months. The EB2 category for professionals with advanced degrees or exceptional ability has improved from 8 months to approximately 4 to 5 months. The EB3 category for skilled workers, professionals, and other workers has gone from 9 months down to about 5 to 6 months. These reductions are particularly significant for employers and foreign workers who have been waiting to fill critical positions in the U.S. economy. So, what's driving these improvements? There are several factors contributing to this positive change. First, the NVC has significantly increased its staffing levels. After receiving additional funding and authorization to hire more personnel, the center has brought on board dozens of new immigration services officers and support staff. These additional team members are processing cases, reviewing documents, and communicating with applicants much more efficiently than before. Second, the NVC has implemented new technology systems that streamline the document collection and review process. The upgraded online portal allows applicants to submit documents more easily, and automated systems can perform initial reviews to flag missing or incorrect documents more quickly. This means cases move through the system faster with fewer delays. Third, there's been improved coordination between the NVC and U.S. embassies and consulates worldwide. Better communication channels and scheduling systems mean that once a case is documentarily qualified, interview appointments can be scheduled more rapidly. Many consulates have also increased their interview capacity by hiring additional consular officers and extending interview hours. Some high-volume posts are even conducting interviews on weekends to work through backlogs. Fourth, Policy clarifications and standardization have reduced inconsistencies in how cases are processed. Clear guidelines for document requirements and acceptance criteria mean fewer cases are delayed due to requests for additional evidence or document resubmissions. Now let's talk about what this means for you if you currently have a case pending at the NVC. First and foremost, make sure you're regularly checking your NVC case status online through the Consular Electronic Application Center, known as CEAC. Your case number, which begins with the letters of your visa category followed by numbers, is your key to accessing information about your case. Log in frequently to see if there are any updates or requests for additional documentation. The NVC communicates primarily through email, so ensure that the email address on file is current and that you're checking it regularly, including your spam folder, as NVC emails sometimes end up there. If you haven't yet submitted all required documentation, now is the time to get organized and submit everything as quickly as possible. The required documents typically include the DS-260 Immigrant Visa Application Form, civil documents such as birth certificates, marriage certificates, divorce decrees if applicable, police certificates from every country where you've lived for more than 6 months since age 16, and medical examination results from an approved panel physician. You'll also need to pay the required fees, which include the Immigrant Visa Application Processing Fee and the Affidavit of Support Fee if applicable. Having all these documents ready and submitted promptly will ensure your case can move forward without delays. Pay close attention to document quality and accuracy. One of the most common reasons for delays is submitting documents that don't meet NVC requirements. All civil documents must be original or certified copies, and if they're in a language other than English, they must be accompanied by certified translations. The translations must include a certification statement from the translator attesting to their competency and the accuracy of the translation. Photographs must meet specific requirements regarding size, background color, and how recent they are. Taking the time to get these details right the first time will save you weeks or months of back and forth with the NVC. For those who have already submitted all documents and are waiting for their case to be documentarily qualified, the improved processing times mean you should see movement soon. Once your case is documentarily qualified, the NVC will send it to the U.S. Embassy or consulate in your country for interview scheduling. With the current improvements, the time from documentarily qualified status to receiving an interview date has also decreased at many posts. However, interview wait times can vary significantly depending on which embassy or consulate will be handling your case. High-volume posts like the U.S. Embassy in Manila, the U.S. Consulate in Ciudad Juarez, or the U.S. Consulate in Mumbai may still have longer wait times than smaller posts, but overall trends are positive. If you receive a request for additional evidence or documentation from the NVC, respond as quickly as possible. The faster you provide what's needed, the faster your case can move forward. Don't wait until the deadline to submit requested documents. If you're having difficulty obtaining a particular document, contact the NVC to explain the situation and ask for guidance. They may be able to provide alternatives or additional time if you can demonstrate that you're making good faith efforts to obtain the required documentation. It's also important to understand that while NVC processing times have improved, your overall wait time for an immigrant visa still depends on visa availability, which is governed by the monthly visa bulletin published by the Department of State. For immediate relatives, visas are always available, so improved NVC processing directly translates to faster overall timelines. However, for family preference and employment-based preference categories, you must wait for your priority date to become current before your case can be scheduled for an interview. The priority date is typically the date that your petition was filed with USCIS. Each month, the Visa Bulletin shows which priority dates are current for each category and country of chargeability. Even with faster NVC processing, you still need your priority date to be current before you can complete the process. For countries with high demand, such as India, China, Mexico, and the Philippines, visa backlogs can add years to the wait time for certain preference categories. The improved NVC processing times won't eliminate these backlogs, but they do mean that once your priority date becomes current, you'll move through the NVC stage much more quickly than applicants did in previous years. This is still significant progress because it reduces the total time from priority date becoming current to actually immigrating to the United States. Let's also discuss some important tips for preparing for your visa interview once it's scheduled. The interview is the final major step in the immigrant visa process, and proper preparation can make the difference between approval and administrative processing or denial. Start by thoroughly reviewing all the information you provided in your DS-260 form and supporting documents. The consular officer will ask questions based on this information, and your answers must be consistent with what you submitted. Bring all required documents to your interview in an organized manner. This typically includes your passport valid for at least 6 months beyond your intended entry date, your appointment letter, DS-260 confirmation page, civil documents, police certificates, medical examination results in a sealed envelope, evidence of financial support, and any other documents specific to your visa category. Dress professionally for your interview and arrive early. Consular officers appreciate applicants who take the process seriously and present themselves respectfully. Be honest and direct in answering questions. If you don't understand a question, it's perfectly acceptable to ask for clarification. Never provide false information or fraudulent documents, as this can result in a permanent visa ban. If the consular officer identifies any issues with your case, they may place it in administrative processing for additional review. This can add weeks or months to your timeline, but it doesn't necessarily mean denial. Follow any instructions provided by the consular officer and respond promptly to any requests for additional information. For petitioners and sponsors in the United States, there are also important responsibilities during this process. If you filed an I-864 affidavit of support, make sure all information is current and accurate. If your financial situation has changed significantly since filing, you may need to provide updated documentation or add a joint sponsor. Stay in communication with your beneficiary to ensure they have all the support and information they need. If your contact information changes, update it with both USCIS and the NVC to ensure you don't miss important communications about the case. Another factor contributing to improved timelines is reduced impact from the COVID-19 pandemic. During 2020 and 2021, embassies and consulates worldwide operated at reduced capacity or were completely closed for extended periods. This created enormous backlogs that took years to work through. By February 2026, most posts have returned to full or near full operational capacity, and the pandemic-related backlogs have been largely cleared. This normalization of operations combined with the other improvements I mentioned has created the perfect conditions for faster processing across the board. Looking ahead, there are reasons to be cautiously optimistic that these improved timelines will continue. The Department of State has indicated that reducing immigrant visa processing times is a priority, and they've committed resources to sustaining the improvements we're seeing. However, it's important to remember that processing times can fluctuate based on various factors, including changes in application volume, staffing levels, policy changes, and global events. Therefore, while we're celebrating the current improvements, applicants should stay flexible and prepared for potential changes. For those of you who are just beginning the immigrant visa process, now is actually an excellent time to start. With current processing improvements, you may experience shorter overall timelines than applicants who filed their cases 1 or 2 years ago. Make sure you work with qualified immigration attorneys or accredited representatives if your case has any complexities. While many straightforward cases can be handled by applicants themselves, having professional guidance can help avoid costly mistakes that could delay your case or lead to denial. It's also worth noting that these improvements at the NVC are part of a broader effort to modernize and improve the entire U.S. immigration system. While there's still much work to be done and many aspects of the system still face challenges, the progress we're seeing at the NVC is a positive sign. It demonstrates that with proper resources, technology, and commitment, the system can work more efficiently and serve applicants more effectively. For families who have been separated for months or years waiting for visa processing, these timeline improvements represent more than just bureaucratic efficiency. They represent hope, reunion, and the opportunity to finally build lives together in the United States. For employers struggling to fill critical positions with foreign workers, faster processing means less disruption to business operations and the ability to access the talent they need. For the United States as a whole, more efficient immigration processing supports economic growth, family unity, and the country's position as a destination for global talent. So, in summary, the improved NVC processing timelines we're seeing in February 2026 are genuinely good news for thousands of immigrant visa applicants across all categories. Whether you're applying through family sponsorship or employment sponsorship, whether you're from a country with visa backlogs or not, the faster processing at the NVC stage means less waiting and uncertainty. The key actions to take right now are to ensure all your documentation is submitted promptly and correctly, monitor your case status regularly, respond quickly to any NVC requests, and prepare thoroughly for your eventual visa interview. Stay informed about changes in the visa bulletin if you're in a preference category, and maintain patience even as timelines improve because immigration processes still require time. Thank you so much for watching this video on U.S. Immigration Intel. I hope this information has been helpful and has given you renewed hope and optimism about your immigration journey. If you found this video valuable, please give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone you know who's going through the immigrant visa process. Don't forget to subscribe to U.S. Immigration Intel and hit that notification bell so you never miss our updates on immigration news, policy changes, and helpful tips for navigating the U.S. immigration system. We're here to support you every step of the way with accurate, timely information you can trust. If you have questions or topics you'd like us to cover in future videos, please leave them in the comments below. We love hearing from our community, and your feedback helps us create content that truly serves your needs. Here at U.S. Immigration Intel, we're committed to helping you achieve your American dream. Until next time, stay positive, stay informed, and keep moving forward on your immigration journey. Thank you and see you in the next video.